Well, good day everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Alton and I'm really glad you could join me once again. Hey, since you're here, if you like what you see, why not subscribe? I'm on the march to 1,000 subscribers, which is sort of the bare minimum of legitimacy. So if you can help me out and make me legitimate, I would appreciate it. Anyway, today I have something for you. I got the white gloves on because this thing has a lot of polished surfaces. It is a watch by Escapement Time. Now, this is a watch that I bought for my father-in-law for Father's Day, which is this coming Sunday. And perhaps maybe I'll even release this on Sunday on Father's Day. That could be a lot of fun. So I bought this for him. He goes through watches like crazy. And I just knew when I saw this one that it's one he would enjoy. So why don't we take a look at it? It's a dress watch. It's a neat piece. I've got some straps to try it on afterwards. Before I open it up, I wanted to show you this. This is what it came in. Came in a brown box, not much bigger than this. And then, I mean, this has got to be the safest way to possibly ship a watch that I could imagine. So inside was this box, and it's actually quite nice. It's a minimal. It's simple, well made. We'll open it up. We'll try to open it up. We will fail in opening it up. Dun, dun, dun. Some foam. It was wrapped in this plastic. And here is the watch. So I have worn this watch a little bit. It's a gift. So, you know, I didn't want to sweat all over it or really make it my own. But I did want to try it out for you before I presented it for review. And I have to say, it is a very, very nice watch. Now, normally I don't talk about price until later on in the review, but the reason I want to talk about it right now is because of how much this cost. This watch cost me just over $100 shipped to my door, either just over or just under. Still, who's counting? We're talking about $95 or $105 Canadian. Who really cares? You can pick these up, I think, for about $65 US or so, which is astounding. Now, right away, there's some things you need to know about it. It is a quartz watch, but you'll see that it is ticking there. It ticks 4 times a second. Has sort of a vintage, old school mechanical vibe to it. It's a accurate watch because it's quartz. It's, I think, plus or minus 15 seconds, but of course, and that's a month, but of course, you're probably going to see maybe a second or two, maybe 3 on a really bad quartz watch a month of deviation. And I like it because in a quartz watch, it drives me crazy when that seconds hand does not line up with the markers. And when it ticks like this, you really, if you're trying to see if it lines up, you'd have a hard time trying to see, I don't think it lines up. But it doesn't matter because it's just ticking its way around. The other thing you're going to notice is that this is sort of a King Seiko or a Grand Seiko homage. Maybe not to one specific model exactly, although I don't know those models well enough to really know. But when you look at it, you're going to say, okay, this has got a vintagey King Seiko sort of vibe to it. The company is Escapement Time. And Escapement Time is an interesting company. It's on AliExpress. And it's a little bit different, in my opinion, than some of the AliExpress companies that you see. I think a lot of the AliExpress companies are people with good marketing skills and some business acumen who have contacts in perhaps a factory that makes watch cases or watch dials, and usually lives in China and is right there accessible. I mean, that is an amazing country if you want to produce just about anything, especially a watch like this, especially mass-produced at a very cheap price. And so they pump out these kind of soulless watches or clones of a dive watch from yesteryear made by Rolex or even one of the new Tudors seem to be popular now with some of those AliExpress companies. But here we have something a little different, homaging a lesser known watch. And if you look at their lineup, you'll see that that's often the case for them. There isn't a Submariner homage in the lineup that I've seen. So they're a little bit different. I've also heard, and I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that it's primarily just one guy who assembles these and puts them out. I like that idea. That's a romantic idea. I don't know if it's true. I have really no knowledge if that's a rumor based in fact or just completely fiction. But there does seem to be something about Escapement Time which makes it a little bit different. If they could come up with some original designs, like a really great original design like Baltic has done, obviously taking cues from watches of the past, but something that's all their own, I really think they could move from an AliExpress sort of Chinese company to more of a micro brand, like a boutique brand like Baltic. Again, please don't quote me as saying that this is comparable to Baltic. I'm just saying that I think they are making their own niche in the market. They're just a little bit different, and I wish they'd go just a little bit further. So enough about that. Let's talk about the watch itself. I know that dimensions are important to us all, so why don't we get that out of the way right away. So throwing this on the caliper. Now let's zero that out, just make sure. Yeah, we're zeroed. Okay, throwing this on the caliper, we have 39.5. Depends where you get it from. It's about 39 to 40 millimeters, depending on the case. And it's a bit deceiving because of the shape of that case, right? So if it's 40 millimeters here to here, it really has more of a visual impact of a 38 millimeter watch in a way. It is 45.7 tip to tip, and that is not a long watch at all, which means it wears very well. And I think you can probably guess the lug width, but you're looking at 20 millimeters. Now, something that I think is a big factor in this watch, being that it is a dress watch, is how wide it is. Look at that, 9.6. Even with the deviation on these cheap calipers, under 10 millimeters for this watch. It has a beautifully signed crown. I really like that. It's sort of a bead blasted finish with a polished logo there for Escapement Time. Very nice. There's two standouts on this watch. The first one is, let me get it here, that blue seconds hand. And I'm told it's a legit thermally blued seconds hand. When you consider for $70 US, a legit blued, thermally blued, that's where they heat treat it until it turns blue, which is a difficult and costly process. I don't know where he's sourcing them or if he's doing it himself or how that's happening. But that is, if it's true, a fantastic, fantastic bargain, in my opinion. And it really, really does. I have to sort of get it in those studio lights. It really does make the watch, in my opinion. The other version was available for quite a while, and I waited for months until this one came back in stock, because this is the one I wanted to gift to my father-in-law. This is the one I thought he'd really enjoy. That little bit of blue in just the right angle really, really takes this up a notch. So that's the first thing you'll notice. The second thing, and maybe you could reverse what you notice first, but the other main thing is this beautiful case. It is a gorgeous sweeping case full of curves and angles. It's got a very beautiful aesthetic to it. There's an elegance to it. And even so, even its elegance, it's a little, the lugs are fairly wide, so there's a bit of a presence to it as well. So it's an interesting, I think, combination of elegant and curvaceous, but also just a little bit masculine at the same time. And of course, that is, Seiko is so good at doing that kind of thing. It is high polished. I wouldn't say the polishing is anywhere close to the best I've seen. It's definitely not the worst I've seen. It's somewhere in between. It's definitely better than the money. Look, I've got a light right there. It's definitely better than the money you pay for it. I think it looks and presents better than what you're actually paying. Flipping the watch over, you can see it has a fairly simple case back. The sticker's still on there because, again, this is a gift. It says Escapement Time, and that's it. There's nothing else to it, which is extremely unusual. Just Escapement Time and no other printing. It is a screw down case back. You know, I didn't even look at the water resistances. I'll pop it up on the screen, but honestly, because it's a gift, so I won't be wearing it. And two, because it's a dress watch, I don't care. The 30 meters, whatever. That's all you need. If it's a dress watch, you're not going to be taking it in the lake anyway, or probably shouldn't. I want to check out just the shape of this case, not just the sweep, but the way it rises up here on the side. It's sort of hard to capture. You see how it dips down the top of the case, and then it rises up to meet that bezel, and then it shoots down here between the lugs. Very, very interesting design. You can see it better there. See the sweep, the way it's is it convex or concave? I can never remember which is which. Sapphire crystal, if it has air coating, it's not needed, I don't think, and I can't really tell anyway. With this white dial, the glare is not going to be a problem unless you do something like this. Then it becomes a problem. But how often are you reading your watch under studio lights? Let's talk about the hands. The hands are very sharp, and I really like that. Very well done. I've looked at it under the camera, nice and close up. They seem to be well cut, well finished, and quite simple. I think that might be one of the reasons why they keep the price down. And the markers are all applied, which is nice. The chapter ring is printed, but the hour markers are all applied, and they're nice silver polished and different faceted angles on that. I don't have the best macro camera around, so I don't know how well I can pick that up, but you can kind of see there. Yeah. We'll see if I can get some better shots and put those up in post. Now, I've mentioned a lot of positives, what I like about the watch. I want to talk about some negatives. Number one, the dial is an off-white cream color. I like the color. It suits it really well. A stark white dial doesn't always work that well. This is a nice balance. It looks a little cheap to me. It looks a little Weekender Timex-y to me. I wish maybe there had been some sort of clear coat on it or something to give it a little bit more of a shine, a little bit more of a shimmer, some dynamics that I'm not seeing with this dial. The printing, Escapement Time and Quartz at the bottom, I think is too small for that font. It doesn't take up much real estate on the dial, and it's maybe not necessarily needing to be bigger. It's just that in a font like that, it's hard to read. I definitely can't read it without my glasses on, being an old man these days of 44. And even with my glasses on, I can't always make out every single letter. Now, when you stick it up to the camera, it's not so bad. But even there, I mean, can you really, really tell what those letters say? The other thing is the chapter ring for the seconds or the minutes is printed, and it doesn't look smudgy, it doesn't look blurry, but there's just something missing about it. I don't know what it is. I really don't. And this could be just me. Other reviews I've watched have been very glowing, so I don't know what to tell you. Just for me, I look at this and go, the case is gorgeous. The hands are beautiful. That seconds hand is fantastic. The signed crown, everything is great, but then there's just something about that dial that lets you down. I don't know if it's a case of maybe putting $20 more into the price and getting a better dial, or what it would be to bump this up, but this could be a knockout watch if they were to fix that. The back of the case is, I wouldn't say a letdown, because honestly, I don't really care about it, but it does protrude a little bit. So it gives you that illusion of a very, very slim profile, but it doesn't really have that. And I don't know if that's a negative, but it is something to be aware of. The strap, I would say, is also not my favorite. Although, that being said, as far as a cheap Croco strap goes, this is one of the best I've seen on a stock watch. How many of us have owned an Orient Bambino and discovered how cheap, unflexible, shiny, and uncomfortable those Croc straps are? So here you have a genuine leather, fairly cheap strap. You can see genuine leather, 20 millimeters, not not anything that can be removed too easily unless you have a tool. It's okay. It's all right for the price. And if you're a strap junkie, you're going to throw other straps on. Me, I'm giving this away, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to change this strap out before I give it away or not. If you think I should, leave it in the comments. The buckle is just a simple signed buckle. I will say it is comfortable. It is comfortable. Why don't we throw this on the wrist and see how it looks on my 8-inch wrist. Before we do that, I should say I am wearing my new Boulder Globetrotter. This was a really neat watch because I picked this up with a Pepsi bezel that was damaged. I got it on a great deal from my wrist check in Orangeville, and fantastic pickup. It's a beautiful GMT Swiss-made watch. I got a great price on it. And then for $50 US plus like 70 in shipping and duty, I got this beautiful Batman bezel to replace the broken one. Honestly, all I did was pry it off. It's so easy to do with the right tool, and snap the new one right on, and off we go. And I did keep the Pepsi one in case for some reason I wanted to switch it up. So that's my Boulder Globetrotter. So here it is on my 8-inch wrist, 20 centimeter or so wrist, and I think it looks great. 39-40 millimeters is a great size for me, especially in terms of a dress watch, but I even have some divers in that size. I am tending to like smaller watches these days, although you'll probably never see me wearing a 36 mil. You can see that I'm on the second to last hole, and it is a little tight. Somewhere in between those two is probably my sweet spot. My father-in-law has a smaller wrist than I do, so that won't be a problem for him. But yeah, very wearable. I think for some of you, it might be a little on the large size for a dress watch, not in terms of thickness, not in terms of lug to lug even, but just perhaps in width. But I think it does wear just a little bit smaller because some of that extra width is from the case and not the dial, which really does visually present the diameter of the watch. So I've swapped it out to one of my favorite padded Hiley straps from Watch Gecko. It's a nice dark, almost chocolate brown strap, and it really does, I think, add something to this watch when you put a higher end strap on it. The padding, maybe I'd go with a flat strap, although I will say I think on the wrist, the curves of the strap complement the curves of the case. Let's throw it on and see. There you go. There it is on wrist, and I think that looks really, really nice. And here we have it on another Watch Gecko strap. This is a much more casual strap, and I really dig it. This is their reddish brown version. It definitely has some dark undertones, a little bit orange undertones, reddish undertones. Yeah, so I'm at work and the phone keeps ringing. I don't even know where I was. But anyway, I really like this strap on this watch. It kind of tones it down a little bit. You could wear this to the office and it would look amazing. In fact, I'd wear this with a t-shirt and jeans. No problem on a strap like this. Let's check it out on the wrist. Yeah, see that looks really great on the strap. In fact, I think this is the strap I'd wear it on if I had my choice out of the three. I think it looks really great. It's more versatile, and I don't wear a suit and tie very often, so this is the sort of strap I would use. But I think what I'll do is put it on the Croco strap for my father-in-law, and if he really hates it, I'll see if I can find him something he likes a little better. Well, there you go. This is the Escapement Time Quartz 4 ticks a second dress watch, Grand Seiko inspired dress watch. It is a really neat piece. I think my father-in-law is really going to enjoy it on Father's Day. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you want to buy one, you can find it on AliExpress, and I'm sure you can check out someone else's review for an affiliate link if you want to help them out. Hey, thank you all so much for watching. God bless you all. Have a great day.